Hey everybody, this is Minion Soldier, and this video is a special addendum to today's ship updates, and it is a video to answer a question from a subscriber, Jason Giles, as to what he should do with his Starfarer, his Connie Andromeda. He really likes the salvage aspect, and he wanted to know, apart from everything, what the original cost of the Reclaimer was, and should he melt both his ships to get the Reclaimer? He just doesn't know what the best thing is to do, and he was asking my opinion. Now, the Starfarer, the original, because yours is the regular Starfarer. Um, I think that the Starfarer is a very smart buy in the Star Citizen universe. I think the Starfarer is a great ship to own because it is also a refueling ship, not just a cargo ship. It can do both jobs. So I like the Starfarer. I like the Starfarer. I think it is a solid ship. It is definitely what I would consider an end game moneymaker, as it is really the only ship that we know of right now that can process fuel and haul fuel. Well, actually, let me revise that. I'm sure that there are other ships that can, fit tanks or just carry, cargo vessels that can contain fuel. But this is the first purpose-built, kind of fuel tanker. So I think that the Starfarer, my honest opinion of the Starfarer, and I have frequently flirted with the idea of buying a Starfarer, is that the Starfarer is a very smart buy in the Star Citizen universe. So I would not take that ship lightly. And also, being that that ship is being made at Foundry 42, I mean, those guys are known for cranking out high quality ships at breakneck speed, and I mean, they just knock it out of the park so often. I mean, when you think about the Gladius went from being a stretch goal to basically a flyable ship in just about a year. The Vanguard, I mean, realistically, the Vanguard, we voted the Vanguard in, what was it, the end of November 2014, and we're getting the Vanguard in our hangars at least 2015 November. That's I mean, these guys just keep knocking out of the park. At the same time, they're doing Squadron 42, and they're knocking out all the ships for Squadron 42. You know, the friggin' the Carrier, the Bengal, the Idris. I mean, all these ships, these guys are just cranking out so much high quality work. I mean, your ship is in great hands, the Starfarer. I have no doubt. And I believe the Starfarer was stated to be the first of the capital ships that will arrive on the scene. I believe Ben and both Chris Roberts have said that the Starfarer is going to be first to really kind of hit. So, I mean, the Starfarer in a lot of ways is a very smart buy, and I think it's a very strong ship. Now, the Constellation Andromeda is also a ship that hopefully in just about a week's time, maybe sooner, you're going to be flying that ship in game, using the weapons, running missions with it. I mean, both these ships are done. Or not, sorry, not both these ships are done, but the Connie is reasonably close to an end state. Starfarer is a ways off, but I mean it's in very good hands. So these are two very good ships. So I think that these are two very smart purchases in the Star Citizen universe. I'm not particular to the Connie, but I recognize the Connie's value. Insofar as the Connie Andromeda, I mean, obviously the Connie Phoenix, not a fan. I know some people will be shocked by that statement, but I personally consider the Connie Phoenix the weakest of all three, just because it's a luxury ship. Whoop de doo. I prefer utility over fashion. So I I I think you've got two very strong ships. So the question is how much do you really think that you're going to enjoy the salvage aspect of the game realistically? Now, the Reclaimer originally cost $350. I probably should have mentioned that earlier on because I know that was one of your main questions. The Reclaimer has a lot of strong features to it. The Reclaimer can haul more cargo, standard cargo, than a Connie Andromeda. That's a fact. The Reclaimer on top of that can also under the old cargo values. I mean, it's since been squished down, and they really haven't given us new math to separate it. And I mean, I guess I could hash out the math roughly, but since I'm kind of slapping this video together last minute, please bear with me. The original Reclaimer had 2,500 standard cargo units and 20,000 specific cargo units for scrap metal. It is a ship that you can travel out into deep space with. It's got large capacity fuel tanks. It's got the long range jump engine. It's got deep space scanners. It's got salvage drones, and often a lot of people forget that it has it, but it has its own detachable little mini ship in the cutter that can go around and serve as a utility vessel to assist in recovery operations. I mean, it's got a giant metal fist on it for punching people in the face. Well, not for grabbing onto ships and grabbing onto cargo or grabbing onto ship components, not for punching people in the face. But I'm a huge fan of the Reclaimer. Now, I am very much, waiting for my Reclaimer. I am very excited. And once again, this is another ship that is being done in the UK. I mean, it's an Aegis ship, so it's Foundry 42. And I am very, very excited. And hopefully, the Reclaimer will go into production, I believe, at some point in the new year. I think at one point, about mid-year was mentioned, maybe March, somewhere in there. I know there's other ships ahead of it, obviously the Banu Merchantman and the Caterpillar. Um, and this being a profession-specific ship, we'll probably see other ships that come into the game that are an approximation of its profession before it arrives. So ships like even constellations and things like that can approximate certain salvage functions. We'll be out there salvaging in the baby PU before we see the Reclaimer. So you'll be able to kind of get a taste of salvage before the salvage ship comes out. What I would do if I were you is if my ships don't already have LTI, I would scoop LTI onto them just for the sake of having it because who knows? I mean, I have a feeling that eventually we're just going to get LTI on everything. They're just going to be like throw their hands in the air and say LTI for everyone. But that is not a guarantee, and obviously some of my guesses are right. Some more of my guesses are wrong. So that is what I would do is I would keep the ships that I got. I would explore salvage as the PU evolves and decide if I really want to go full bore into the Reclaimer. I I feel the Reclaimer is a solid ship, but I do not feel comfortable telling someone else how to spend their money. I mean, anytime someone kind of does that, I I think it's a mistake because I mean you could actively hurt someone's enjoyment of the game. I think you have two solid ships. I think you have two great ships moving forward with all the gameplay that's coming in 2.0. You're about to finally see your two ships really come into play. I mean, the Starfarer is going to be the first of the capitals to be playable. The Connie is going to be playable probably inside of a week. I mean, these are two solid assets. I would keep them. I would LTI them. And, once the Reclaimer becomes quote unquote hangar ready, it's definitely going to go up for sale again. I mean, this is the way they've always done it in the past. When a ship is concepted, it's sold. When a ship is hangar ready, it's sold again, and when a ship is flyable, it's sold again. So you are going to see the Reclaimer again. If you have these other two ships and you have LTI on them, and if you love the salvaging profession as far as you've explored it in the baby PU, and you're just like, no, the Reclaimer, that's it, that's exactly what I want. Boom, you can CCU to it, and you will have an LTI Reclaimer. It may cost a touch more down the road, possibly, but I think between the Starfarer and the Connie Andromeda, you'll probably having both those ships, you'll be able to easily make up the difference. So that is what I would do. That if I mean that is like if I was in your position, that would be what I would do. Now, obviously, I mean, like I in my position, I've already gambled on the Reclaimer, so we'll wait and see, and trust in the fact that as soon as the Reclaimer becomes in game in any respect, I will be doing video upon video about it because I think the Reclaimer is fucking awesome. So that's my answer to your question. I hope you enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching.